Hi, my name is Selene.
I'm Alexa.
My name's Andrea.
And I'm Rona.
We are Infusion Baroque, a chamber ensemble based in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, specializing in historical performance practice.
We were disappointed that we couldn't come to Milwaukee to be part of the Early Music Now concert series this past February, but we are so pleased to be making this video for you in the meantime until we can return to perform for you live in 2022. Consider this a snapshot of our past season. As you can imagine, it was full of new challenges.
We had 4 major projects in the past year that we're excited to share with you in this video. The first one was a virtual concert that we made for the Toronto series Summer Music in the Garden, which we recorded remotely, with each of us playing along to a pre-recorded track in our own homes. Then we produced our own series, which we called Virtuelles, in which each of us produced our own short episode highlighting some aspect of women making music at home. We also self-produced a concert called The Scottish Connection, which we video recorded all together in a studio along with our colleague mezzo-soprano Megan Zanting. And then we also recorded our 3rd album this year, and we got some video clips of the album, which we'll be sharing with you at the end of the video.
Our very first virtual concert was recorded in July 2020 in collaboration with the Toronto Harbourfront Centre's Summer Music in the Garden series. They were among the first to transform their live series into virtual concerts, tackling the challenges of recording in isolation head-on. At the time, it was not feasible for the 4 of us to record together in the same space, so Harbourfront Centre mailed us each a camera and microphone kit and created personalized click tracks for us. We recorded each of our parts separately in our homes, and then their incredible sound and video team combined the 4 recordings into one seamless performance. Here is a selection from the concert Virtuosa, an allegro from a trio sonata by Anna Bonn, a composer who trained at L'Ospedale della Pietà in Venice before going on to hold posts as a chamber music virtuosa and composer in courts across Europe.
As concert halls remain closed, live performances and festivals canceled, and touring suspended indefinitely, Canadian public and private arts organizations acted to provide funding and support for artists to get back to work and adapt to a virtual performance space. Infusion Baroque was fortunate to receive a grant from the Canada Council for the Arts to create the #Virtuelles web series, where we drew parallels between historical women who were expected to perform at home and modern-day women who have been doing so due to the pandemic. The series consisted of 4 episodes that were created, directed, and filmed at home by each one of us, as well as a social media campaign to highlight and promote the work of our women colleagues throughout Canada, the US, and Europe during the pandemic.
Hi, Gilly.
Hi, Andrea.
Welcome to Virtuelle.
Welcome to Virtuelle.
Welcome to Virtuelle. This web series explores how both
historical and modern women
have made music at home.
In 18th and 19th century practice, a certain freedom from the score was expected. It would have been different depending on the time and the place and the situation, but it would have included ornamentation, fluctuations in tempo, and of course improvisation. Gilly and I are using an excerpt of the final movement of Hélène Liebman's Grande Sonate for forte, piano, and cello as a point of departure for an exploration of improvisational playing within written works. And this movement, theme and variations based on Lacidarum la mano from Mozart's Don Giovanni, culminates in a shared cadenza, creating the idea of a shared improvisation. This particular sonata was dedicated to a German virtuoso cellist named Max Bohrer. Gilly and I really enjoyed imagining that her and Max Bohrer had been duo partners, perhaps from a very young age, and having this close relationship. They knew each other's tendencies and preferences when playing music, and perhaps there are all these moments in the cadenza where they tried to surprise each other and throw curveballs. And so then we tried to invoke that spirit even when staying true to the actual notes on the page.
In the 18th century, it was rather taboo for most women to perform in public, so most women had to perform music at home, either by playing with friends and family or just by themselves. Back then, there was no internet, so musicians had to get a little bit creative in finding new and exciting music that fit their exact instrumentation. I've been arranging music for over 15 years and I love it. I'm fascinated with how playing a piece of music on a different instrument can uncover new facets of the piece and sometimes even completely reinvent it. I've done my best to create something that is not just an imitation of violin music, but something that can exist in its own right as a new piece of flute music. And I am very proud to continue in a long tradition of women arranging music at home.
Paintings of the Dutch Golden Age often portray women at home engaged in various domestic activities. They are very often pictured playing an instrument, most often the harpsichord or the virginal, which is a kind of harpsichord, or else playing another plucked instrument such as the guitar, the cittern, or the lute, or singing. The best known Dutch composer of the 17th century was Jan Pieterszoon Sweelinck. And in addition to serious keyboard music such as organ preludes and fantasias, Sweelinck also composed many charming variation sets on popular tunes such as English Fortune or Fortune My Foe. One could well imagine the cultivated ladies of the Dutch Golden Age performing these variations by Schwelinck on this popular, sorrowful tune.
In the 18th century, women musicians were usually limited to performing privately in their own homes. But like any rule, there were exceptions. For this episode, I'll be performing from my home an excerpt from a duet for 2 violins composed by violinist, composer, and singer Maddalena Lombardini-Sirman, who was one of the few women musicians to make the jump from salon to stage. Madalena was determined to have a professional career in a world dominated by men, and her story is quite remarkable and in many ways not that different from that of a modern woman. When she was in her 20s, she married another violinist by the name of Ludovico Sirman. This enabled her to leave the ospedale, travel, tour, and perform with her husband, and she likely composed these duets to perform with him. This relationship was not meant to last, and after about a year, they split up. Ludovico returned home to raise their daughter, and Madalena continued to tour Europe as a violinist, a composer, and eventually an opera singer. As an artist, she was able to achieve a career that most women only dreamed about, and as a woman, she was able to maintain a level of independence that was truly exceptional for her time.
The Scottish Connection was supposed to be the last concert of our Montreal season in the spring of 2020. Of course, it was cancelled because of the pandemic, but we're thrilled that we were still able to present it this year as an online concert featuring our wonderful colleague, mezzo-soprano Megan Zanting. The program features beautiful Scottish melodies arranged by 18th century composers such as Haydn and Gemignani, who capitalized on the late 18th century popularity of Scottish tunes. We were lucky to work with a great team of audiovisual professionals who transformed our live performance into a beautiful production. We also really enjoyed the initial watch party of this concert, which allowed us to connect with our local audience and subscribers, all while nursing a glass of scotch in the comfort of our own homes.
The last piece that we'd like to share with you is a chamber sonata by Elisabeth Claude Jacquet de la Guerre that was filmed in February 2021 during the recording session for our upcoming album, Virtuosa. This album will be one part of a larger project highlighting the stories of historical women, and Elisabeth Claude is one of our better-known virtuosas of early music. She was a harpsichordist and composer from a very musical family who gained recognition in the late 17th century. And this sonata is a multi-movement work, though played non-stop, that demonstrates a real equality between voices and instruments. There are many things that we love about this project, and one of them is as simple as the process. Recording an album is one activity that we can do now that feels just like it did in our pre-pandemic reality. When it comes to the artistic and conceptual side of things, Virtuosa is actually a project that is very near to our hearts.
The Virtuosa project began as a single concert in our 2017-18 season, devoted to historical women who made their mark as virtuoso performers. While researching this concert, we found so much interesting material that we decided to make Virtuosa the sole focus of our next season, presenting 3 concerts on female performers in different milieux. Since then, Virtuosa has served as the theme for a web series, a touring program, and finally, our latest CD recording.
Such an important part of this project has been to tell the stories of these women, most of whom never made it to the history books beyond a few sentences, or are often mentioned in reference to perhaps a more famous male musician. But each of them, in their own way, persevered and excelled in their craft. The 2-disc CD we are recording this year spans repertoire from the Baroque to the contemporary periods in varying styles and texture, all on historical instruments, but we see each piece as a connection to, or even the soundtrack to, the personal stories of these remarkable women.
As you can see, we are very passionate about this project, and the production of this album has led to many more exciting ideas, such as an interactive website, virtual concerts, and more. So keep your eyes open for the album launch this fall. Thank you for following us on our journey through this strange yet innovative year, and we look forward to seeing you in a concert hall soon. Please enjoy this last piece by Elisabeth Claude Jacquet de la Guerre. you.